gonna draw him into the shallow water. I'm gonna draw him in and drown him. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. The Shallows is directed by Jaume Collet-Serra. I tried. It stars Blake Lively and is the story of a young girl who's going surfing and she gets stranded in the shallows on a rock when she's injured by a great white shark. She's 200 yards away from shore, but the only way that she can get there is if she swims there, but this shark means business, and now we have a contained small thriller. I was extremely excited for The Shallows for a number of reasons. For one, it's a shark movie. Look behind me, I like shark films, I really do. But also, it was like Hollywood stopped taking shark movies seriously. Now all we get is Mega Shark versus Mega Octopus and Sharknado 7. We never get good shark movies anymore, so I was pumped for this movie. Also, this director is someone I find very underrated. He's made 3 really fun Liam Neeson movies, Unknown, Nonstop, and Run All Night. His first movie, House of Wax with Paris Hilton, was kind of bad, but he was definitely the best part of it. And he made the very underrated film Orphan. So I've kind of been behind this guy for a long time. So for a lot of reasons, plus Blake Lively, ding, I was excited for The Shallows. Now that I've actually seen The Shallows, what can I say? The Shallows is the best shark film since Jaws. Unfortunately, that's really not saying much. For over 40 years, Jaws has been the king of shark movies, and it continues to be. The Shallows, I thought, was a perfectly fun thriller. It unfortunately does not reach the dramatic heights that I wanted it to. It doesn't reach those heights that I think it's even aiming for. It's a very serious film at times. You have this backstory with our main character, played by Blake Lively, with something that happened to her family in the past, a tragedy of sorts, and it goes back to that from time to time, sort of a 127 hours style, where she's remembering things, thinking she might die. And I'm not going to say that the movie is taking itself too seriously. What I'm going to say is that it doesn't reach those heights it's aiming for. Because if it did, and it felt more authentic, then the more dramatic side of this movie would have felt more real and it would have felt more earned. The movie is fun though. There are some sequences that genuinely had me white-knuckling the armrests of my seat, and Blake Lively is very good in this movie. This is definitely one of her better performances. She has to spend the majority of the film in a very heightened state of trauma, and she pulled it off. The shark is also very well realized. It's a very good CG shark. My big issue with The Shallows is unfortunately the tone. This movie has a very conflicting tone. It starts out with a lot of contemporary pop music, electronic dance style music, and it feels kind of like a music video or a commercial for GoPros. And then it gets very serious and more thrilling with the shark and everything, and then you get into more intense score and more music like that. But unfortunately, the film was unable to sustain a feeling of suspense. The movie Jaws opens with instantaneous suspense. There's like 15 seconds of black screen and underwater noises. You're instantly sucked in and feeling like a little uneasy. This movie doesn't have that. It feels very modern and contemporary with some of the music choices, and unfortunately some of the way that it's directed. There's an overuse of slow-mo in this movie that really started to bug me, and although it looks really good, the movie itself has a very beautiful color palette, the water and the scenery, and obviously Blake Lively, it all looks really good. The movie itself wasn't able to sustain much suspense, and it wasn't all that scary for me. One of my major complaints with this movie is storytelling based. It sets up a plot point of some kind, something the main character is very curious about. She keeps asking people this question, and we go back to this question many times throughout the movie, and it's supposed to be this element that makes you curious and draws you more into the story, and it gives you something to wonder and expect. And then it's just dropped and never referred to again, and you walk out not knowing. And I was kind of like, what was that all about? Still, for me, this is a very good, what I call, rainy day thriller. In fact, this director makes a lot of those. They're thrill rides that are fun, kind of disposable, you forget about them quickly, but they hold your interest fairly well while you're watching it, and if it's raining outside and you have nothing better to do, pop in The Shallows or Run All Night or Unknown or Nonstop. He makes a lot of movies like that are sort of disposable thrillers, but they're well made, competently directed for the most part, and exciting to watch sometimes. There were some weak story elements and some strange music choices, and this suspenseful tone wasn't very well utilized, but still, I overall enjoyed watching The Shallows, and I'm gonna give it a B. So guys, speaking of shark movies, you guys know that last week my friend and I, Matt Brando, we reviewed Jaws 3D for the very first time. We got to watch it actually in 3D now that the Blu-ray is out. If you guys didn't get a chance to see that video, there's going to be an annotation at the very end here for it. And this Sunday, I am going to have my review of Jaws 2. Finally, I will complete my Jaws quadrilogy of reviews. Matt and I rewatched it, and we had a lot of fun talking about it, and something very special happens at the end of that video, a very cool surprise that I am very excited about, and I hope you guys get a chance to watch it. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmannized.